hey everyone. Welcome to the community. First of all, this is our fourth online event, and I'm very excited to host this one as well. And I'm very pleased to have our speaker Wishvaja with us today. So, a round of applause for her as well. So, she is working as a UX designer at Armored Innovations currently. Okay, so she will be giving her introduction later on briefly because she knows very well about herself. So she's also on Instagram sharing her knowledge with you guys. She's also like spreading knowledge with you guys about UX and design. So that I appreciate that as well. And so, yeah, and I'm working as a UX designer from 5 years, and I have a background in BTech computer science, and I'm the co-organizer for this community. And yeah, welcome guys again. Let's start with Vishwaja. I'm just overing to you, Vishwaja.
Okay.
Yeah,
So my voice is audible, right?
yeah, audible, right?
And you can see my screen?
Yo,
Okay.
guys,
Great.
just a second,
Yeah.
Vishwaja. Guys, you can just respond. You can have the access to turn on your mic. So if you have any questions or if you want to say something, you can say or just leave a chat. Whatever it is, just make sure the event goes very interactive and engaging, right? So just don't be sitting and listening to us. Yeah, Vishwaja, right?
Okay.
Continue. Yeah,
So yeah, thank you for having me first of all. And
pleasure.
I'm not able to see the chat, so if anyone like messages, you can tell me.
Yeah, I will let you know.
Yeah, great. So thank you so much for being here today, even if it's Saturday. So yeah, let's start. This is UX design, aka also known as user experience design. So first of all, here we are going to look into what is UXD, what are fundamentals of user research process, challenges faced in research, and role of iteration, tools used. So basically everything that is very basic at basic level for beginners in UX design. So before that, I would love to introduce myself. So I'm Vishwaja, and I've been learning UX UI design since 1 year, and I'm a self-taught UX designer. Also, I'm working as an intern at Armored Innovations as a UX designer. So it's a early stage startup, and I also share my knowledge with you all on Instagram. So basically, a content creator, and yeah, and also an artist by night. I love to like paint and just share that and like sell bookmarks and all that creative stuff. So yeah, this is about me. Um, let's start and dive into our session. So first, let's start with the obvious question: what is UX design? So, like, what you guys think is UX design? Just drop a chat and I'll just read it. So I'll get to know how much knowledge you have about UX design. So, what is UX design? Just drop into the chat 3 words, 1 word, anything works. And don't be shy. This is going to be interactive course. Like we are only 15 people here, right? So I would love to help you all guys with my knowledge, whatever experience I have. So drop in the chat what is user experience design you think? Anyone?
Just drop a full form of it. That would also work.
Yeah. So just don't be like shy or something. We are not going to judge you on your answers. Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
nice to see you, Hitesh.
Yeah. The design, implementation, and research of having good user experiences, designing of the user interface. Okay. So more anyone? I would love to see your opinions, what you know about UX.
What I know about UX is working on the all products and like if it is digital or physical product and try to understand the problem and pain points of the user and working on it. Like in its design way, or yeah, actually its usability and equitability and all.
Right. Good. Thank you. You're like almost perfect. I hope you mentioned laws of years in the slides. It's my favorite resource. Yeah. So I've not explained everything on laws of US, like every law, but I'll share the site. US involves the fundamentals which are used and implemented on a business. Great. So many answers. I'm happy to see everyone interacting. So yeah, basically, as you guys said, UX, that is user experience. So it's about making the product more enjoyable, intuitive, usable, and giving the best experience for the users, right? So UXD, user experience, covers everything about how a person interacts with the company, its services, and its products. So basically, it's not just about the digital UX that we see, like the Zomato interface, when you like interact with mobile apps. So there is also the real world UX, like in the design, like you have, if you have read design of everyday things, you'll see that it's the real world UX, like how the door opens, like every little thing around us has UX in it, right? So it's not just about the interfaces or the UI apps that you see, but also there are a lot of opportunities into the real world products. So the first part, that is what role research plays into it. So, in order to create products that are better in the market, whatever product you are designing or whatever service you are providing, you should have some research, right? Because if you don't do the research part and directly jump into the product, there are a lot of parts or the risk where your product might fail, right? So to avoid this part, we need research. So user research greatly impacts UX design. So it ensures the product is user centric. Also, it improves the usability and reduces the risk, like I said. So, in order to reduce the risk of product failure, where you don't know what actually the users need, you have to do the research part. And also, not just here, but even after the product is launched, you have to do the research part, right? To understand the market. By understanding the users' need, challenges, designers can create products that are not only functional but enjoyable, as I said, right? So let's see an example. So it is nicely said that don't just innovate for the sake of innovation. It's good to innovate, but at times you have to think from the feedback, the reviews that you get, and just iterate on that. So a few years back, as you can see in this image, first image, there are a lot of buttons on the remote, right? A lot of buttons, which is quite confusing for if you think from old people's point of view, from kids' point of view, it's really confusing. So also, however, very small percentage of people use all the buttons, right? Because rest, most of them are just for the sake they are there, right? Not everyone uses them. So Apple, what Apple did is for their TV, they made this simple um, remote which just has the basic and the most needed buttons. And the extra ones, they all moved it to the on-screen part so that people can easily just do the up and down thing and just select all the things that are available on the screen itself. And the remote is much usable for all range of people, of all range, age range of people, right? So this is what, like, you don't have to always innovate something that is out of the box, but you can make something that is complex a more simpler with the help of research, right? So again, so overview of UX process. So this is the UX process that I've shown: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So this is most of the time shown to us. But what do you guys think? Is this the only process that is always followed, or is there anything more to it, or is this the straightforward process? So I'll read the chats. Share with me, like, what you guys think. Is this the linear process, or it's very complicated? Or what are your thoughts on this? So I'm seeing the chat. You can just put it in over there. Like, what are your thoughts? Is it the straightforward process, like the empathize, then you just jump into define, ideate, and then the product is launched? So what do you guys think? Very iterative, I guess. Right? A lot of trial and errors and research. Right. To the point. So, yeah, anyone else want to say anything on this? Depends company to company, product to product. Right. So, yeah, Ajit is also a good line. Great. Anyone else? Yeah, Hitesh. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we also have the product testing and how much time on like the error rates and all, and also
Yeah,
in between we also have a user persona, right? And
right. A
there
lot.
are things like a storyboarding and wireframing and all, high fidelity, low
Yeah,
fidelity. Yes.
yeah, yes. Thank you. Not a simple process with a lot of factors clashes with each other. Right. Okay. So let's jump into the slides. So basically, it's not exam straightforward process. It's it has like when you empathize with the users, you have the interview, you have all the insights gathered. Then again, you have to take some, you have to present everything to the stakeholders. What are their thoughts? Then again, at times you have to go back to the user, get more insight, and then this process has a lot of iterations, as many of you said. After define stage, you may have to like jump into empathize phase again. Once you have done the prototype, you have done the testing with the user with your app. That's every time. It's not that you will directly jump into the launch state and stuff. You have to again go to the defined state, see what are the priorities, are the results met or are the results accurate, and what users need, is it meeting their needs and everything. So it's a lot of complex process and it depends upon product to product and company to company. So yeah, just remember this is not a straightforward process. It has a lot of iterations, a lot of feedback, and like gaining insights, presentations, communicating with your managers, your stakeholders, gaining insights and stuff. So today we are looking into the empathize phase. That is the first phase here, right? And why this phase is specific? Because it has a lot of research in this phase. So the first phase allows designers to empathize with the problem through user experience. So whenever you do your research, the market research, and you get some notes on that, then you have to empathize. You have to understand more in depth to the user what are their needs. So the empathize phase includes user research, focus groups analysis, as you guys said, personas, benchmark analysis, interviews with stakeholders, and everything. So all these things are included in the empathize phase, where we understand the users and what is the gap in the market that we really need to solve. So, what is user research and types of user research? So, there are like four types: generative research, evaluative research, descriptive research, and exploratory research. So, we are not going like textbook of something like that, like we study in schools or colleges. We'll go and take some real world examples so that you guys understand it properly. So, in this, we are doing the research, user research, where we understand the users, make informed design decisions. Because when you create a product and you have not done the proper research, even if the feature that you have created is very aesthetic and it's very good looking, but if no one wants to use it, it's of no use, right? So you have to just put it in the trash, and you have to just go to the research and just find the proper gap and prioritize what problem first needs to solve. So this is the thing. You have to do proper research and just focus on the research part. Don't most of the people what they do is they want to make everything aesthetic and good looking, but that's not the thing. So because you need to focus on the research so that you create something that is aesthetic and good looking, but is really needed by the users, and the business also benefits from that and users also benefits from that, right? So then we are validating concepts. Whatever concepts or whatever insights you got, you have to validate them. You have to measure the success after you like, if you have published your app or you have made a certain, like a lamp, for example, you have made some, um, let's say this headphone, you have to just validate it. Once you get it to the customers, you have to understand what are the reviews, feedbacks, and what changes need to you need to make and stuff. So validation is very important at times. And measuring success, like how much are your like whatever you have thought, like this will go at such and such percentage, people will use it, such and such number of sales will be done. Are they caught or why are they low? All these things come under the measuring of success. Then we have facilitates collaboration. At times in research, you have to also collaborate with your like at big companies or MNCs, we can say there are different departments for each of the phase, right? Or at times at startup, you have developer who is also into designing and he has to understand what are the buttons you are using and what is the concept behind that. So it should also be a collaboration kind of thing. So basically in research, we have two types. So first is qualitative. And can you guess what is the second part? Like we have two things, right? The qualitative and the quantitative. So just put in the chat so I'll know like how many of you know what two types of research are there. So first is qualitative, as I said, like it has a lot of where we get a lot of long answers to understand the user, right? Okay, so I guess a lot of beginners are there. We'll jump into the slide and I'll get back to you. So first is qualitative and second is quantitative. So qualitative methods like user interviews, usability testing, ethnographic studies, diary studies, all these types are included in the qualitative research. So qualitative research is exploratory. So it aims to understand the reasons behind user behavior and attitudes. So whenever you are taking a user interview, you are asking some specific questions that will lead you towards the answers about the product in that market, in that specific context, right? So you'll get different types of qualitative, the more long form type of answers. So these all come under the qualitative research. And when you do the quantitative research, it involves collecting numerical data. That is like surveys and questionnaires, analytics, then A/B testing, heat maps. All these things come under quantitative research. Okay, so we understood what is qualitative and what is quantitative. Qualitative has long form answers like notes from the interviews and stuff, and quantitative has numbers like the metrics and like so and so percentage of people are using this in the market. So and so is the drop off rate of this website and everything. So this comes under the quantitative research. But there are two ways to conduct research. Okay, so the two ways are primary and the secondary. So how we can simplify this is in primary research, all these things that we discussed, interviews, surveys, observations, usability testing, focus groups, where the main interaction is with the users, right? So in original data, the gathered directly from the source. So basically in primary, you have direct contact with the users and you collect the data directly from the source, that is the user. But in secondary, so where this secondary type of research is used, I'll tell you, at startups or early stage startups, we can say, or like where there are a lot of budget constraints that your company is not able to afford users. So that at that time, you have to conduct secondary research, which is done basically when from the existing data, whatever is existing on websites and Google search or whatever type of things like market reports, some competitive analysis you can do where you list out some companies that are in competition with your company to understand what features and what are the products they are offering. So what you are doing is from the existing data, you are just creating and researching and creating your reports and understanding what is the gap and what needs you need to fulfill and everything like that, right? So it is from existing data. Like here we have said, a literature review, then competitive analysis, market reports, online databases, everything that is available first, right? everything that is already available on your internet or wherever in books or from reports anywhere. So I guess this is pretty clear that secondary research is from we collect or do the research from existing data, and the primary research is done like directly in contact with your users, interacting with the users. So just like press one if you guys are able to like follow me or I'm going too fast or anything, any feedback, appreciate it. So just like one if you are following me. Okay, great, great. Okay, I need
Someone
at least
raised a
10
hand, I
responses.
guess.
I
Ayush?
guess I give you a thumbs up.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Great. Okay. Press 1 if you're following me, or if I'm too fast, just let me know. I'll just slow down.
Yeah, also if
Everyone?
you have any questions, you can just drop into the chat or just raise your hand.
Yeah, Hitesh. Yeah, you can speak.
We collect primary, we go through the primary, what is that? Primary and secondary. So
Yeah.
while you doing user interview, we get the primary information, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. And the
And
secondary
what
one
is,
is available
huh?
on internet. And
Yeah,
then,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Great. So let's jump into slides. So I hope we are clear till here that there are two ways of conducting the research, primary and secondary. It totally depends on the budget, the time constraint, and everything. Because primary research, while you are like taking the surveys, you are asking people to fill your forms, and you are observing a person like in his environment, everything needs some budget and also takes a lot of time. But in case if you are not able to do the primary research, you can go with the secondary research. And both, if you do both, it's really good. It will help you either way, right? So, okay. Let's see this example. So, importance of understanding user needs. So, why we need to understand the needs? Can't we just create a app or a product like I think this is good one. I made this assumption and made this app. So, why should we not do that? Because product failure, whatever budget time we are putting into a company or whatever we are putting efforts we are putting into a project, nobody wants it to be a failure, right? So proper research is always a key. So let's see why it is like how we can understand and how we can create some apps and what companies do exactly. So let's take an example. A company developing a new fitness app conducts interviews and surveys to understand the fitness goals and challenges faced by potential users. So what they can do is they can directly go to gym and just take some few users and ask them questions. What are their goals? What are they looking into? What they want to achieve and what features they want. All these things they can directly ask to the users or the gym members, whatever, whoever they are hiring or giving them incentives and collect that data to use and create some useful features for their app. So this information guides the app's features and design, ensuring they meet the user's need. So basically, if a person doesn't want a certain feature or like at Cult Fit, if you guys know, it's in Pune. What they do is there is some scanner, so you have to go to the gym and scan to like give the attendance, or there is they have this app where your attendance is recorded and you get points and stuff. So, but at times, the interface was so complex that many people were not able to find this QR code and stuff. So, right? So, if they are using it on daily basis, you need to make that experience as simplified as possible. So after getting that feedback, they iterated on it, and now it's really straightforward and simplified. So that's why interacting with users and understanding their needs is very important. So again, another example. So what we saw here is a digital UX example, right? It's an app interface example. Now we are seeing is a real world UX example. So I basically love learning from these real world UX examples, and I follow a lot of creators as well who teach from daily. products that we use, how UX is implemented over there and stuff. So okay, let's see. You're pressing the pump. Okay, in first example, these both are of Garnier. The products are of Garnier. And in first example, it was the first bottle. When you press the pump and nothing comes out, the user is most probably frustrated and he just goes on pumping it until a few lotion left comes out from it. Or he just have to like open the lid and then just get the stuff out of that, the lotion out of that, right? So you end up unscrewing the lid, checking the bottle upside down to get the remainings of that bottle out. So compare this user experience with that of the squeezy lotion. So what they did is after understanding these problems, they made this another bottle, the green one, where the opening is a small opening. You can just squeeze the bottle and you can see that shape. That shape allows the user to hold the bottle over there and just squeeze it. Whatever amount of the lotion they want, they can just take it and just put it again in its proper position. So here you can see that after getting or understanding the user problems, they have created another version which is much better. So it has a small opening to like just get whatever amount of lotion the person or user needs. There is this shape which helps the user to hold the bottle properly. It helps the user to squeeze it and everything like that, right? So you can see here how they have iterated based on user feedback. So this is the first example. And again, this was a real world UX, and now we'll see some sort of digital UX. So here you can see the usability. The filters are given so that person can just go through this filter, apply them, and search whatever specific product they want. So this comes under the usability. When you add these logos, like if there is a company who is selling XYZ product, and they have collaborated with these partners. So if you add these logos, it helps the user to trust your company, right? So it helps in increasing the credibility of your company. Then you can see there is a searchability option where you can just click on it and access your size, whatever it is, medium, small, extra small, large, whatever it is. So you can easily use them and just search through it. So everything, all these good things are of digital UX, right? So you have to apply this where the UX laws come. Before that, UX laws and okay. So anyone wants to speak? Okay, he could. Yeah.
Yeah, the credibility part, I guess, don't you think that it is kind of marketing is more like more kind of marketing instead of like UX design?
Yeah. Okay. So you are saying that it is more from marketing point of view, right? But if you see like when if your site does not have some numbers or some proof that your company has worked with so and so people, then it's really hard for the user to trust. So to gain trust, you can use this. And at times what happens is you have to create a balance between business and the users because you are always creating stuff for the business. They are the one who are controlling everything, right? The stakeholders. You have to make a balance between both. So, is it answer?
Yeah, like I was thinking like credibility is something which the company or whatever the product is the performance or whatever the consumer user satisfaction is there. So it is built accordingly. So people anyhow just like the iPhone, like they don't need to like show like this is all we do and all. So if the product itself is holding
Good.
the market.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I felt that it is the marketing part. That's why I raised it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I got it. So basically, I used to face the same problem. Like, I used to think why we are, like, there are a lot of, if you have seen that some websites give these pop-ups where they say just two products are remaining, some only three products are remaining, and they just make that. we feel very hurried, like I have to get that before the last product goes, right? Or you have to, or they just give these irritating pop-ups which trigger us as a user. So these are something which we can call black patterns, or which should not be used in
Dark
good UI, right? Yeah, this is the bad UI. But like credibility, I can say it's good for like as a user to trust, and like it's just a part of the website, right? It's not a bad thing. Like if the company is faking their collaboration with certain companies, then this is not right. But if they have really worked with some, they can just add like a section over there that these are the companies we have worked with. And if you're some like if your company is related to this, you can just come to us because our services are based on this. Because our services are minimal, and whatever their service is, they can show with the help of these companies, right? So, like,
Okay,
if
okay.
it's, yeah, great. Thank you. So, any other questions? Okay, so let's jump into the slides. Okay, so what are the common challenges in user research? So first, as we saw or discussed, that recruiting participants. So at times, company has to give some incentives, something in to the users so that they can give their time and whatever amount of time they are giving for the research that you want. So you have to provide some incentives for that. So this is a long procedure, and if you have a small budget, this many companies just drop this part at times. And recruiting participants as whatever the user persona is, like whatever the target audience is. If the range is from for teenagers, so like from 16, like 14 to 16, or whatever the product is of, whatever your target audience is it for old people? Is it for working professionals? So you have to like pick those users for the research, like particular users. So this recruiting the participants may become a challenge at times for the company. So then time constraints. If it's like a startup and they want something to be done in so and so days, because they want to pitch their feature to some stakeholder to gain the funds, then here comes the time constraint. So you have to work under that and understand which methods or ways you can apply for the research and which are appropriate at that time or at that situation. Also bias in research. So many of times what happens is we are born and brought up in a certain environment. So our thinking process or thought process is very different. So we have to just avoid some biases and just think or like just understand what the other person or what the target audience is trying to express or trying to say. So you do not have to assume anything, right? So these all there are a lot of biases. You can just go to internet and search what biases you can avoid. Then we have limited budget and resources. So yeah, as we saw here. Also, one thing I would love to suggest that you have to design, like if I'm using this mobile, so my both hands are like okay, right? So I'm using it with both hands. But you have to consider, you have to research from many point of views. Like if there is a person whose hand is temporarily fractured, right? So he is using one hand. So your interface or whatever design you are making, it should be usable with one hand. Or this is a temporary situation, right? The person's hand is fractured. Or you can say there is a woman who has a baby, and so this will become a like situational kind of thing. So you have to consider if she's holding a baby in one hand, she'll be using it her mobile with a single hand. So this will be a situational type of thing that you need to consider. Or also we consider accessibility where like a person doesn't have hands, right? So you have to give some uh, voice notes or you have to give those annotations and everything. So accessibility is also an important part. So you like this is just a beginner um, session. So you can get in depth, as much depth in depth you want to study, you can go. Just like let's say you want to know more about accessibility. So just go through a lot of articles available on Medium, on UX Collective. Go there, just read out, take notes, and try to implement them on your designs, right? Or try to look around you how they are implemented. So yeah, so let's jump into role of iteration. As we have seen in other examples till now, like the bottle example, the fitness example, or any other example that we've sought till now, the role of iteration is very important. Um, Whenever a user is giving you a feedback, you should be very positive towards it. You should not feel offended. You should understand what that person or the stakeholder is trying to tell you, take it positively, and just think around it and iterate. So at times what you can do is, if there is some bias, then you can chat with whatever teammates you have. You guys can just note down what are your point of views. You should be open to get feedback so that the iteration process is more and more effective. So basically, what is iteration? Before and after. So before, so and so problems were recognized and you iterated on it, you made the changes, and then the after product is more usable and better version that from the one that was initially made. So this is why iteration is important. So basic tools used are Figma, FigJam. FigJam is a part of Figma where you can create user personas, do some mind mapping, and all that stuff. Then you can use Miro. It is somewhat like FigJam, like you can use either, like whatever suits your needs. Then Google Forms for creating surveys and stuff, and Notion for organizing um, like your project, like which phase are you in, what problems users are facing. You can just collectively create a dashboard, or there are a lot of templates available out there which you can use for this part. Okay, so summing up, what is UXD? Then role of user research, types of research, importance of understanding user needs, common challenges, and role of iteration. So we have almost covered every basic thing, but there is a lot to this, like user personas, user journey mapping, and everything. So you have to go in depth. You can just go through some courses freely available on YouTube and just study in depth. I hope this session has given you an overview of what UX design is and how research plays an important role. So thank you so much. Okay. Yes, Hitesh,
Yeah, Hitesh.
you raised the hand
Uh,
earlier.
s- Sorry, just can you repeat or just summarize the iteration part?
Okay, iteration wala part. Okay, 1 second. So what we can do is I'll just go to these slides. Okay. So iteration is very important because at every step it is needed. Like if you have an initial product and you do the research, you get access. Like let's simplify it. Whenever you go to the Apple Store or the Google Store, Google App Store, so you just have the app there, and you can scroll down and go through the reviews, right? So this is a part of secondary research. So whenever you scroll down, you will understand that a lot of people are facing problems in this section, a lot of people are facing problems in that section. So this you can find out through secondary research. So you get a list of problems users are facing with whatever product you initially have, right? Then you have to understand which problem is really important to be worked on. Like, what is the main focus that you need to solve first? So, like here, you can see that this is the initial product we had, this remote which was complex with a lot of buttons, and they got a lot of insights. They may have taken some interviews. They may have gone and observed the person in real life, like in real environment, and understood how the person is interacting with his remote. And they may have found out that like very few of the buttons are used, and others are just for like the sake they are there. Like, people are not using them. So they created another product. So basically, these are of different companies, but I'm just giving you an example. So let's say this is an before product and this is an after product. So you have to make the changes. Iterate is changing. Whatever feedback you get, whatever frustrations people are facing, you have to understand them and make the changes accordingly so that your product is more usable and enjoyable for the users and also benefiting your business. Also, you can see this example right here that this was the before product. They made the changes and made it more usable for the user, understanding their problems, right? Then you can also see, like if you have gone through this example, it is very um, we can say very common, like a lot of people talk about this example. There was this sauce bottle. If you have seen those sauce bottles, which were made of glass in olden times. Okay,
Yeah.
so what happened is when you used to just when the sauce used to come to an end, people used to just hold it and just used to tap it and just thump it so that the sauce used to come out. So what that company did after seeing those problems, they made a more usable version of it, which was like which had this shape which was visible. But what happened is people started putting it upside down. Like they started putting the cap downwards. Like let's say this is a bottle. Okay. So what happened is if this was a small version, like small cap, what happened is people started putting it upside down so that the sauce which was remaining here started collecting at the bottom, and whenever they used to use it, the sauce was easily able to like squeezed out, right? But what happened there is the label they had started looking upside down. So after understanding all these problems, like if they put user is to put these upside down, the bottle used to fall because it had a small cap, right? So after that, they made something which had a bigger surface area of the cap so that whenever people put it upside down, it should not fall. Also, they created their label in such a way that it should be like visible and readable for the user. So there are a lot of steps. Like you have to do the changes based on the feedback. So this is an example of iteration. Hope you understand.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
This was a
Okay.
nice one
So
actually.
yeah. Any
Yeah,
questions?
then popular one also.
Yeah.
Which type of quantitative research gives accurate results?
It actually depends, like on like if you are conducting the surveys and stuff, what type of questions you are asking in the survey, you should be very specific about that. Like you should not ask, you should know how to ask the questions to the user to get whatever answers you are looking forward to for your product. So most probably what people do is like if you are working on your personal project for case studies and stuff, people mostly go with the user interviews and surveys, questionnaires, but you can also go with secondary research, like anyways work. But I guess for quantitative, you can go with surveys and understand the user more effectively. Okay, so I hope I answered your question. Or you can also go with competitive analysis. Where can someone get the secondary research? Any website? Actually, there is no website as such for the secondary research. You have to do. Okay, I'll stop sharing. One second. So there is not specific website for secondary research because it totally depends. Like if you are working in the fitness, if your company is is working on the fitness part, so you can just go through Google search. You can just ask ChatGPT to give the top 10 in your specific niche. Like let's say if I'm working on any fitness app. So what I'll do is I'll go through the most famous ones like the Fit or I have some any other ABC gym, other XYZ gym, and I'll go through their websites. I'll understand whatever structure they are following. So secondary research is probably you have to go through as many links pop up in your search at your Google. whatever search you're doing, or whichever Bing you're using, or whichever browser you're using, whatever sites pop up when you type your niche, you have to go in depth as possible till you get what you want for your product, what is actually needed for your product. So secondary research is about going through all those things or resources that are available on, like already available. Someone has already put it on the sites, right? So you don't have to go to the user, ask them, and then work on your product. So you have to go through any site that pop up. Then we have, if we are make. I hope I answered, Rohit. Also, Vidish, also you, if you don't understand what I'm like, if you have any doubts still, you can ask again. If we are making a sample project, a personal project, do we still have to do all the research part? Yeah, obviously, like if you are doing a sample project, for your portfolio and you want jobs or you want something from that point of view, then it's really important to do the research part. If you are applying as a visual designer or just you are applying for the UI part of the jobs, then you can focus on how the design systems are made and how the interfaces are designed and show the design thinking process over there. But if you are applying as a user researcher or UX designer, then you have to do the research part so that the person understands that you are having some process, you have the ability to understand the user and then work on certain products, right? Because research plays very important role to understand the
Right,
gap.
right.
So it's great if you show the research. What things or topics should be included during the first case studies and how to get topics for the case study as an fresher? Okay, so you are asking like what things or topics should be included during the first. Okay, so first question I think is how to get the topic for your case study, and the second question in that is how to like what things should be included. So
Right.
basically, what topic you should choose. So I would suggest that go with whatever topic that excites you, you are passionate about. Because when you're working on a first case study, what happens is you might get like you might lose the interest at times because you are not you are not used to with this process, right, of creating certain interfaces. You are just starting out, so you should go with something that really excites you. Like if you are an athlete or if you're a sports person, you should go with something that is in that niche. If you are a girl who loves jewelry and stuff, you can go in something that is related to that niche, which excites you to work on that project. Otherwise, you can go through some um, like problem statements. There are some sites that I guess there is one sharpen dot something like that. So you can search like how to get case study prompts for UX design, and you will get those websites. And you can just keep on pressing the button until you get a certain prompt that you feel like working on, right? So you can go through those websites for that, and also how to structure it. You can like there is a traditional way that I say that you have to write the problem statement. You have to do the storytelling part in your case study. Then you have to, after problem statement, you have to show like what process you followed, how you did the research part, like did you interview the participants, and you can just take a screenshot of whatever like call you have did and just blur out their photo if you want and just paste it. And also you can then write out you have done the user journey mapping and all that stuff. Like then you can show that you have done the affinity mapping, that you got all this stuff, all these problems on your board, and you just separated them out, and you have got so and so insights from that, right? So you can do this. So this is a process you can follow where you can then give the user interfaces, the designs, prototypes, and stuff. But like many of the UX case studies you will see on Behance and Dribble, they are very similar nowadays, and there is a lot of competition out there. So try to be like try to make something that is out of the box. Like you can add a intro video, or you can just add a video where you are explaining the process, the thought process behind your project. Then you can add a link to your prototype or just embed a link to your prototype where the person can interact with your prototype inside that case study, right? So that they'll understand that you have made it on your own and how, like you have understood how to make the prototypes and stuff. So you can make something that stands out from other case studies that are like easily available, like the dog walking app if you have gone through the Google certificate course. So like come up with some different idea. You can do your research and understand like you can just go through your like I have my grandma. So what problems is she facing? She is facing problem in using so and so feature of WhatsApp. So like how you can simplify it, like what will help her. So you have to see through your surroundings and understand it. Just take that topic as a case study. So I hope it helps. Yes, Hitesh.
Yeah, I want to ask, like someone said earlier, can we do the sample project and all? I just want to ask you, like, apart from the sample project, is there any kind of work that will build our portfolio, like creating buttons and all? Is there anything apart from the sample project that will put some weightage on our portfolio?
So basically, I've seen many of the projects are where you redesign a certain complex feature that you see in real world applications. So if you go through some Apple Store, like if you choose one app and understand what problems the user are facing in that, you can redesign it. So this is one thing. You can add a heuristic evaluation in that. So what is heuristic evaluation? Where you take some site or existing website or something and you can just search heuristic like heuristic principles. So you can search them and you will when you go through those principles you have to just audit that website and just note down the things that you think that are not in that specific that are not following that specific guideline. So you can do this heuristic evaluation report where you can show that I understand these things are bad UX, good UX, and these laws are not followed in this website, and you can show all the report in that. So this might help. Also, like instead of going with digital UX, like creating the apps and websites, you can also go with something that is real world. Like we saw the Garnier one or the sauce bottle example, something that you have faced problem with, so that the person understands. This will help if you want to become product manager as well, because at times like let's say you are adding this report where you are understanding like why Zomato or Swiggy like they came into place. Like before that, what was the case that we used to call the restaurant, then they used to prepare the order, they used to call back, then we used to go and pick our stuff, and then come back. So Swiggy and Zomato, they understood the gap between the market, right? And they made the best product out there. So you can add these reports or you can add these things in your portfolio.
Yeah, thank you so much. One more thing.
Hmm.
I saw some case study on Behance. They are created in such way we keep scrolling and it is completely the kind of whiteboard you can say. So
Hmm.
can we create that on Notion or is there any other website or software
What
is
are you
there?
saying? What you saw?
A case study on Behance. They are like
What?
we kept scrolling like from starting to end. There are a lot of things in that. So how
Okay,
can
so
we
you're
create that?
asking like where you can create that.
Yes.
Okay, you can create that I guess directly on Figma and just export that and then upload it on Behance. Because on Notion, what happens is you'll not get that effect, whatever you're saying, like that, all those things, all
One
those
more.
creative slides, you'll not get that effect on Notion. Notion is very straightforward.
We
You
can
can create it on
framework
Figma.
framework can be
Okay.
used
Yeah,
to.
Framer, Webflow, Big Studio you can use if you want.
Right.
Okay. So it is Behance which turn that what is that file? Figma file in such way, or
Yeah,
it is
like
made up like that.
okay, so when you have made this on Figma, the sections, what you can do is just go on right side, export it in PNG format or whatever format, PNG
Hmm.
or JPG. You when you export, you just number them properly, like one, two, three, four, whatever. And then when you go to Behance, there will be an option to upload. then you can upload these slides one by one so that they are stacked upon each other and people will be able to scroll when you publish it.
Okay. So it is behind
Or
this
Dribbble.
whole thing. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or you can use Framer as Mahi said.
Yeah, Primer is good as well.
Where to find people to conduct interviews? Okay, so basically, if you are working with a company, they provide you with the target audience or they provide the incentives to them and they give you the users to interview. Or if you are working on your personal project, you have to find them yourself in your surrounding. Or at times there are a lot of there are websites as well, but I guess they are paid ones. But I don't think you should go with the paid ones right now. Or what you can do is if you have Instagram, like a public account, you can just post that I need so and so age range of people. If anyone is interested for this interview, I'm working on so and so app, then you can just give a DM and we can move forward with that. So you can get through social media platforms like LinkedIn. You can just message someone if you can go through their bio and understand if that person is fit for your case, then you can just message them if you are available for so and so interview, do let me know. So you can find them in your surroundings if you are like as a startup. I hope this helps. Any other
Yeah,
questions?
cool. Anyone else? We also have the questions from the registration form we got. So I'm just going
Okay.
to share it with you. And let's,
Okay.
I think most of the questions I've already just covered. We would just try to go through with it once. Just a second.
Is there any tool or plugin to export video in Figma? Hmm. Video and export video. So like you if you have created a video in Figma, then you want to export it, right? Or you want to import a video in Figma. Because to be honest, I've never used such plugin or tool, but it might be out there. You have to search on Google or stuff.
Like, is it,
Um,
do you want something to export like an animation or
huh,
Yeah, like when I make because in Figma I have made several animations, and it becomes a quite a big problem to export them in Figma because I have searched on many different platforms like YouTube and Google, but there is not a quite satisfactory solution for the
yeah,
same.
so?
yeah. As
Actually,
application as well
yeah,
for this.
yeah, Vishwaja, if I can
Okay.
add, yeah. So there's a plugin from the Lottie creators actually. You can use that plugin to export your animation and like you can create animations in Figma using components and variants and use that Lottie plugin to export directly from the Figma, or you can also like create in directly into the Lottie creator as well.
Okay.
I guess that's
Yeah, I
the
have heard of that plugin name, but it not worked that well with the animation on which I have worked. So, is there any other alternative?
no. There's not a actually direct alternative you are looking for. Like if you just play that into the what would be called that the prototype, right?
Yeah,
So
prototype and preview
yeah,
option.
prototype and preview, and you are just trying to like record that prototype tab, right?
Yeah.
So actually, I don't think there's a possible way for that now, but the possible way is to
If we
like do
get
it from
something,
Figma.
I'll message you, Ajit. You can send to him. You can
Yeah,
take his contact if we get anything regarding that.
right, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, also Vishwaja, if you have any resources for the people who just joined us
Um,
today, so you can directly
okay.
share them with me, and I will be like sharing the
Sure.
resources with the people with the
Okay.
feedback form. Yeah,
Sure. I'll share it.
yeah. So let's just continue with the questions we got from the registration. First one is web design and UX design same?
Okay. So basically, web design, they are somewhat similar, but not like accurately same, as web design focuses more on the aesthetic part, the visual appealing part, right? Also, web designers most of the times need to know the coding part, the front end coding part, where the HTML, CSS, JavaScript comes in. So this comes under the web design part. But as a user experience designer, you have to like go in depth, understand the UX laws, design principles, and understand what actually user need and how you can balance it with the business, and then create a certain product. And in this UX design, both parts come like the digital and the real world. But in web design, just you have to create certain web page, whatever number of web pages are needed by your client, you can just create them. So here you need a coding knowledge, and here you don't need coding knowledge. Or if you have, it's good. So I hope it answered.
Okay, cool. Let's just do one thing. Um, if anyone like just interested in the question, I will be showing on the screen. Let's just type one if you are interested, and two if you want to skip the question. Is this works? Right? Okay, let's continue. This would be fun. How to engage clients with UX. One for answer, two for the skip.
Yeah.
Question is
Just type
something
in.
different. How to engage client with UI
Yeah.
and UX?
Also, yeah, also
I,
you can guys, you guys can let me know who just asked this question so that we can understand this question from that person as well. I just copy
yeah.
pasted this from the
What I
registration form.
thinking that they are asking how to, like, if the client or if your stakeholder is not focusing on the user research part, then how to make them understand that user research is important in your project,
Right,
I
right,
guess.
right, right. Yeah, I think it's that.
I'll answer it in short. Like, you have to, like, it totally depends on the time constraints and the budget, as we saw. But you can just show them the results, and you can show how a research is affecting their product and how they are moving, like, in the right path, in the right direction, instead of going with the unnecessary features. Then you can just show them the results and make them, like, engage with or understand that user research is important for your project.
Right, right. We actually have to keep it parallel to show them to the clients because they doesn't really know about the research part thing and they just want the result
Yeah.
as quick as possible. Okay, so the next one, oh my God. What
Yeah.
beginner designers could do to grab a first earning after getting certified by XYZ learning platform apart from internship and job placement offered by those platforms. Okay.
Okay. I'll answer like, okay, let's just.
Yeah, let's
So
answer.
basically, what if you don't want to go with the internship and job, there are a lot of things that you can do. You can be a freelancer, but I would suggest to go with internship before starting out as freelancer, because I have faced a lot of problems because I had no knowledge or no experience working with the clients, and I directly started with freelancing, and it was like a very bad experience. Like I couldn't handle any of like client that I got. So you can just go with the internship. That is a better. Then you can go with freelance. You can share your knowledge, document your journey on Instagram, from where you have potentially like good like you have good opportunities in future if you grow on Instagram as a creator to get clients from there. You can share knowledge and engage with communities, participate in hackathons. Like hackathons, there are designathon. Like many communities arrange this type of competitions, so you
Right,
can
right,
participate in those to get experience of collaboration and working on real projects. Or you can also volunteer like for non-profit organizations, like for free.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Also, Vishwaja, if you are comfortable sharing your journey, like how did you got your first design internship? Like, is it like totally dependent on your portfolio, or your portfolio wasn't ready at that time, or like have you reached personally with connections? Like, how was that happened? I think that would be really helpful for the audience here. So, if you're comfortable sharing that, please.
Okay, so basically, I did my like when I completed the Google certification course, um, I had my basic portfolio like case studies ready, but my portfolio was very bad at that time. Like it was very bad. Until
Everyone
now,
has that.
yeah. And I before that, like after Corona, I had worked with one client. Like they had this startup and they had this they wanted a logo design. So, like by some connections, they knew that I am into designing. So they reached out to me and I created a logo for them. So when it was the time for me to search internships, I like posted it on LinkedIn and also I approached to this person for whom I had designed the logo. So like clients with whom you have worked, like even if it is a small part, if that experience were good and if they were satisfied with your work, I just message them that I'm looking for so and so internship, and if your startup has any, I would love to work there and stuff. So I made this message and just sent, and I just got the offer. So it was really easy for me because I had worked with them beforehand. So yeah, so I just took it as
That's
it was an early stage startup. So I wanted a startup to gain experience.
okay. So, like, connection is the key thing, I
Yeah,
would say, right?
friendship. Yeah.
Yeah, cool,
Then
cool
also I
thing.
got a lot of opportunities from Instagram for remote work, but I wanted something that was on site, so I
Okay.
chose with
Mm.
Wipro.
Yeah, so
Yes.
for first experience, I think the on-site experience job
Yeah,
is must.
important.
Yeah, right, right, right.
I guess Hitesh
That's
is trying to say something.
yeah,
Mm.
Hitesh.
Thank you so much for your input. This was me, like this question.
Okay, okay.
Okay, this is your question.
Oh, okay. Great.
Good. How to build case study and design principles.
That we discussed, I guess. So, like,
Right,
don't
right.
build design principles. Are you talking about design system, like building a design system, or understanding design principles?
यहाँ पर है जिसने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा है.
How can we build design principles? Obviously, I
Ah,
think it is.
yeah, already there. You just have to like go through them and then you can work on a case study using or keeping those in mind. UX laws, design principles. You can keep those in mind and work on your project. And as I said, case study, you can choose any platform out there. Like you can just go on Figma and create your case study. Like whatever research you have done, whatever product you have created, whatever small problem you have solved, you can just make all or document it and just create a case study and you can post it on Behance or whatever your own portfolio is there.
Right, right, right. How to get into this field since I know particular degree is required.
Okay, so you don't have any degree, and okay, so without UX design degree, how to get into this field? Yeah. So basically, I too don't have any design degree or stuff. I'm from like bachelor's of computer science background. So I was not happy with coding and stuff and programming. I used to paint and make content for my art account. And I always wanted something that was something creative, artistic, or something in that place. And then, so I decided to go with front end development first. Then I came to know that there is like not much money in that. You have to understand full stack or learn full stack, then you can uh, earn more. So I went and studied full stack, but it was really hard for me, and I was not that passionate about that. So after searching a lot of fields, I came across this UX design part. Before that, I was looking forward to become a graphic designer or learn that stuff. But when I came across UX design and got to know more about it, I went with some courses like Google certification course. Or else, if even if you don't go with these paid courses, you can go through YouTube. there is Ansh Mehra's playlist where you
Right.
can learn everything, and it's really nicely done. Or a lot of people have their playlist on how to become a UX designer. So you can go through these free things, and or else you can just attend some 2 week. There is Anudip's 2 week workshop. So he also teaches a lot of nice things. In just 2 weeks, you can just get started with that. So yeah, you can go through some. There are a lot of websites like Appraised and like Udemy that you will help you to like get certified. But it's not necessary to always pay for the certificates. You can learn from already available resources. But what I would suggest is this course that I took. It helped me to go step by step and not get overwhelmed by the resources available on internet. So it helps you to go step by step and learn little like everyday little things. So yeah.
You did the Google UX professional course, right?
Yeah, right. The 7 courses in that. And I also did the 2 week Anudit's workshop. And then I
Actually,
started learning it by myself from YouTube and going in depth in each part.
okay.
I've not thought about masters yet, but let's see.
Actually, I've also gone through that course, Google one.
Yeah, great. That's really helpful if you want to like just explore the overview and get an overview and get an case
Right,
study
right.
done.
Yeah, right. If you're very new, that's must course,
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah, Hitesh, you have any question?
Yeah, I want to ask like there is a course available on Coursera of Google UX, I think. Is that one you are talking about, or it
Yeah,
is
right.
genuine or not? It is
It has
genuine, right?
7 courses in it. Like you can purchase 3 months or 6 months
Ah,
or
yes,
one
yes,
month.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Okay,
that's
okay,
it.
that
Yeah.
is okay. Yeah.
It has 7 courses. So it takes, I took 8 months to complete, 7 to 8 months to complete it as I was also learning, like I was in college. So it, to balance everything, it took me a lot of time.
Yeah, 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 okay.
So
Yeah,
they provide any assistance or just done with the course and certificate, that's it.
They have videos, recorded videos. Then you
Hmm,
have the
great.
peer-to-peer. When you upload something, someone from like someone receives it, and you get 3 feedbacks on that. So basically, there is a lack of feedback because like no one is
Okay.
there. Like
Hmm,
there
hmm,
is
hmm.
no mentor who interacts with you 1:1. So
Yes,
you
yes.
have to, what I would suggest is if you're taking the Google UX course, you can join some communities out there where people are interacting with each other. So whenever you face some problem or you want some feedback, you can share it on those communities. And many
Hmm,
people
hmm.
are out there who want to help and give feedback to you in these communities.
Okay.
yeah. How to improve UX? I think this is already covered and we just don't have to talk about it. How do beginners get a job? UX essentials, real-time projects explain. Okay, everything in a one question. Okay. Do we
Mhm.
have to cover this one or let's just skip this because this is also covered, I guess,
Yes,
right?
you can skip.
Okay, skip. How to get job? Same question, I guess. Yeah, without having design degree. Okay, this is also covered. From where I can learn and read UX laws and how to remember them. Something. Yeah, this can be covered.
Okay, so there is one site. I'll just share my screen and show you. Like if you don't, 1 second. Okay, so this is the site where you get a lot of UX laws. You can just go through each one each day and just understand it. Like this is aesthetic usability effect. Then all the history is given. You can just
Mm,
understand this law and then you can search more on that, or you can just go through some app that is on your mobile and understand how it is this law is applied on your mobile, like on that app itself. And you can study it. Like you can just take one law each day and study it and share it with your colleagues. If you are on Instagram or LinkedIn, you can share what you have learned and get feedback, discuss. So yeah, you can go through this website, and also this person who has made this website has his own book. So it is mentioned in this website somewhere. So you can go through that book, purchase it. So yeah,
It's a really nice website, I would say, because it has a
Yeah.
book, it has posters and cards.
You can just download those posters, paste it on your like wall,
Yeah,
and
whole wall.
just go through them. Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
I already did it actually.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, so this was the last. That's cool. This was the last.
Where I can learn and read it. Okay, this was the last. Great.
Let me just stop sharing it. Yeah. Yeah, Hitesh.
I want to ask like, do you have any website for that UI UX games? Like, it is the question like riddle kind of things over there. I just want to know about it.
UI UX games.
Uh,
Yes, it is basically kind of riddles questions where we will see the images and what
Mm-hmm.
is the difference between and all the kind of
oh,
way.
Ma'am, I
There
have
are.
one
uh,
once.
I think I know that website. Also, like I don't know what you're talking about, but there is one website, growth.design, I guess. They have a lot of case studies from real
Right,
world.
right.
Yeah, growth.design. I'll just share my screen if you
Growth.
want.
Let
1 second. Growth case studies.
Method of
But I
action.
guess this exam, we will have this. You can just click on this and go through. They have shown everything. And I guess they also have some quizzes and stuff.
right. It's very cool.
Growth.design.
Yeah.
This was used for case studies, na, mainly.
Yeah, but I just get some tips and quizzes, I guess, on my newsletter on mail. I've subscribed to that, so I just get some things from there. For challenges or games, I have to like search.
From Ansh Mehra, I have listed that some of them names were there.
Oh, do
Method of
share.
actions name was there. There were some games there, typography, shapes, scales.
Mhm. Yes, 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 exactly,
Okay.
Yeah.
exactly.
Can you
Okay,
please
so
just
share
share
the
that with us
link so everyone can access. I'll
Method
do
of
that.
actions
in the
name
chat?
was.
You can share it with us.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, sir.
Not sad, bro.
Actually, I also have that website, but I have to go through all the history. I just don't remember
Okay.
the name.
No worries. Also, like we can make this like list of these links and you can share to everyone, right, Ajit?
Yeah, definitely. I will share it with the feedback form. And guys,
Okay.
just
Okay.
do remember to fill the feedback form after this event. Your feedback is very valuable to us, like how we can improve our future events and how the things just gone in this event, and what were the things you liked, what were the things you didn't like, what could be the things we can do better at the next time, right? You can just mention everything there.
Great. So I think anyone else who is like feeling shy but has some questions and want to ask, you can ask. This is like a 1:1 station, right? You can discuss anything.
Yeah, last time, okay, we got methods of action, Bezier method. Yeah, Bezier one, I used that one. Okay, color method, type method, shape method. This
Okay.
is a website, methods of action.com.
Yes, method of action directly or games are inside only.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's cool. Let me copy it.
Oh, I got this website. I share. Great.
Yeah.
So I guess we are done with questions.
Yeah, so we are done with everything. Anyone has any questions? This is the last chance to ask
What
anyone.
should be the average time for our UX for a UX study? Like if we are working on some project and we want to do the case study of that project, so how much estimate time we should keep with us to do this case study?
Okay.
L-
Like for a personal project case study or like for the one you are working with the company or
For
something like
personal one, because sometimes
that?
I got carried away with the research work and thought
Okay.
didn't know about the what should be the exact time for I should give for the project.
Okay. So basically, it depends on whatever prompt you have chosen. Like, if you have something, you have understood the gap that you're solving, the problem that you're solving properly. So it's really easy for you. You can, some people are saying that they do it in 3 weeks, 1 month, or it might take 2 months. So it totally depends. When I was doing the Google certification, it took me 3 months because I was like understanding the research part, then doing the research, understanding how to like sort the problems and then find a solution. So it took me a long time. So it may be between 1 to 3 months. Like if you're a beginner, it might take long and it's okay.
Okay. I have a question. One of my friends told me that the when we are working with a corporate, they usually don't give us a very long time to do the user research. They wish. So, what's the exact time that corporate gives us for the case study and UX research?
Okay, so basically, I'm not the person to answer this because I've never worked at any corporate company. As this is my
Yeah,
first company and that is through a startup, right? So if anyone here is from a corporate company,
I
but I
can
think they give
answer
some
this
deadline.
one.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
let me answer this. Okay, so your question is like how much time do you get in for the research time in the company, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So actually, it's totally depend on company to company, like I previously said. It depends on company to company and product to product because some company has the development team so quick and they just want the product so quickly to be out in the market. They didn't have the time to research. They just want you to just iterate and like just get a prototype, and development is so fast, so you just get a product ready within very few time, and you just have the product ready within very few less time, and like you can directly have your testing on the uh, MVP, I would say, like not a
Oh,
design prototype but the actual working prototype. So some company prefers that thing, and they just don't delve much into the research thing because they already have the team that is capable of like iterating things very much faster, so that if they do the research thing, that would be slower for them, right? And sometimes there are big companies who just mostly do the research thing, so they prefer doing the research main, and after that like they continue to build their product. But mostly the companies are what you are just saying, that most companies are not giving the time to research part. That is because we already have the that much of data available in the on the internet now, so we don't have to do the research every time, right? We don't have to, like if we are building a Zomato or Swiggy or similar applications like that, we already have an existing application similar to any kind of application in the market, right? So we don't have to do it from the scratch every time. So that's why companies don't prefer to do it with the like full research time and all. So they spend less time in the research and more time in the execution in that case.
okay.
I hope
Thank you
that
for the
answer you.
answer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was really
Uh,
helpful.
by the way, I got the link for that website. I'm sharing right now.
Which one?
Which one?
That game, UI UX
Yeah.
games.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
It is really amazing, and it really
Oh,
hard. Like as more as level you cross, you should
oh,
try
I shared the number.
as a gamification. It is really amazing.
I just saved this and try after this one.
Okay, I will leave
Great.
the
Thank you for
games
that
I
answer.
just used to play and will try to
Yes,
play this.
it is really hard. Like last one is amazing.
Okay, so I think we just got up with everything, and we are not going to take much of your time, Vishvija. Thank you for your session. It was a very nice presentation, I would say. I would really appreciate, like, the presentation was really, really good, and you presented it very well. And I hope everyone just understands and have their doubts cleared, right? And the purpose of being like attending the event is like now success for everyone. um okay, thank you everyone for
Thank
joining
you.
us.